Welcome to the Leaders Insights podcast. Today's episode, Attribution in 2026, Why Your Last Click Data is Lying to You. Last click attribution is still the default setting for most marketing stacks in 2026. Why hasn't it died yet?
Because it's easy to defend in a budget meeting. You can point to a click, point to a sale, and draw a straight line. The problem is that line is fiction, and it's an expensive fiction. I've seen companies allocate 40% of their paid media budget to branded search terms that were simply collecting credit for purchases that were already decided.
So the budget misallocation is happening at scale. Can you put a number on what that actually costs a business?
Forrester published figures earlier this year, and I'll flag this is vendor-adjacent research, suggesting that companies running last-click models are misattributing somewhere between 25 and 35% of conversion value. For a mid-size e-commerce brand spending $50 million a year on performance marketing, that's potentially $15 million flowing to the wrong channels, consistently, year after year.
Where does that money typically end up? Which channel is the biggest beneficiary of the distortion?
Branded paid search and retargeting, almost universally. Those touchpoints sit at the bottom of the funnel by design. They intercept someone who already decided to buy, stamp their pixel on it, and claim the sale. Meanwhile, the podcast ad, the YouTube pre-roll, the newsletter sponsorship that actually created the intent, those get zero credit.
Unilever and L'Oreal have been fairly public about overhauling their measurement frameworks. What did they actually change?
Both move toward a combination of media mix modeling and incrementality testing rather than relying on pixel-based attribution alone. The shift is philosophical before it's technical. You stop asking, which ad did this customer click last? And start asking, what would have happened if we hadn't run this campaign at all? L'Oreal ran holdout experiments across several European markets in early 2026 and reportedly reallocated roughly 20% of their digital budget toward upper funnel placements after seeing that their retargeting spend had near zero incremental lift.
Incrementality testing sounds rigorous, but also slow and expensive. Is it realistic for a company that isn't L'Oreal?
It's become much more accessible. Platforms like Northbeam and Rockerbox have built geo-based holdout testing into their standard offering at price points that a $10 million revenue brand can absorb. The honest answer is that even a rough incrementality test run quarterly is more accurate than perfect last-click data running daily. Precision is less valuable than directional truth.
If a CMO is walking into a board meeting next week and needs to defend a measurement overhaul, what's the single argument that lands?
Show them what branded search is claiming versus what organic would have converted anyway. Pull the overlap. In most businesses, that number alone is enough to make the case that the current model is actively misleading capital allocation decisions. And that's a risk conversation, not a marketing one.
Clear and actionable. Thanks for cutting through it. To go further, Leaders Insights offers strategic training programs, diagnostic tools, and an executive self-assessment designed for CMOs, CDOs, CFOs, and leaders aiming for board-level performance. Explore everything at mba-training.com. Thank you for listening to the Leaders Insights podcast. See you tomorrow for another episode.